STAKK Nation, welcome back
Champions.
to the channel.
Yes.
Yes. As always, class is in session, and Gary Ginsler has some words for us. In this video, Mr. Ginsler is going to add some clarity to what is a custodian when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I thought an exchange was one of such, and unless I've been living in a dream, I think over the past 3 to 4 years, exchanges like Coinbase and what is the other one?
Even Robin Hood, Webull,
Yeah,
Public.
they've been working with the SEC to become compliant. However, I feel like that might not be enough. Let's take a look at this video, and we'll see why one might think such a thing. I like the white background. How did you feel about this video?
It's educational.
Yes.
Professor in session.
Yes. It's like it took us back to kindergarten.
Take it back to class.
Okay, you gotta love it, man. When the head of the SEC is talking to the American people and he's whacking his fingers at them like they were little kids.
Listen.
Yes. Maybe throwing some graphics in there because you guys have no fucking attention span. Make it fun. Throw some kindergarten music behind it as well. Even though this video is directed towards adults. I mean, you have to look like underlying insult when you watch these videos, man. But, okay. Let's just play it.
What is a qualified custodian, and what does it have to do with the securities laws? A qualified custodian. No, not groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons. I'm talking about a different kind of custodian, one that safeguards your assets when you work with an investment advisor. Investment advisors advise investors or funds with literally tens of trillions of dollars of assets under management. They advise mutual funds, hedge funds, pension and retirement funds, endowments, or those robo-advisor.
Yes. First of all, let me start by saying this. Okay, we spend quite a bit of time trying to.
Continue.
We spend quite a bit of time, just trying to make sure that our show is spicy and so on and so forth. I don't want to come for anyone, and this is obviously not directed at anyone either. But Gary Ginsler's YouTube channel is better than yours, man. Did you see the edits?
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Same.
Ginsler has a stronger YouTube channel than most of us out here.
Office hours with Gary
Office
Ginsler.
hours with Ginsler. I felt like I was at home.
Can I jump in there? Because it covered a lot in this video. I want to just cover
Hey,
this little
man.
short section.
Sure.
Folks, we apologize for doing a lot of reaction videos lately. We just had to, man. We got to come back with the heat.
Why you apologize? Why you apologize? I'm not apologizing. I'm liking the reaction videos. I don't apologize for shit.
I'm just saying, because really,
No.
folks, we want to educate you guys, and I think reactional videos are part of the education. So just okay. From what you've watched so far, right? My summary again. We'll try to educate you guys about watching something and then trying to summarize or get your own perspective out of it. The perspective that I'm getting out of it is that, number one, in this age and time, 2023, you need an investment advisor before you can make a decision on any investment. It's like they're talking to boomers or something. Like millennials.
Yeah.
Do not sit down and wait for, or go sit down on the bank or call some advisor to tell you how to invest your money.
Yeah.
Like, we know, like, that is why we had Wall Street bets and all that stuff happening. People are starting to take their time to educate yourself about the monetary system, about money, about finance. What?
I don't know, man. I've said this multiple times in multiple videos. We live in the age of information, right? Technology has put us in a place where everyone can access all the information anytime. So And it turns out that there's a lot of things that we did back in the day that were not efficient, like having
Pension funds,
pension fund
mutual
advisor,
funds,
mutual fund advisor,
robo advisor, hedge funds. Like,
Exactly.
You don't even have enough money to have a hedge fund.
Listen, man, all of these people, I had said in a video before, okay, how come if you're, because you're working and you're giving your money to this funds and all this garbage, right? How come the lifestyle of the people who are managing your funds does not match your income,
The yachts,
right?
the Lambos.
Because imagine this, you're just managing these people's money, right? However, the amount of money that you make yearly is way more than what some of them will make almost over a lifetime, right? There is a disconnection there. It's really the basics. And if people don't see that, you know, we hope that, you know, this video helps you see it. I guess,
It's like,
you
oh
know what I mean?
no, don't think outside
Yeah.
the box. Get back in the box.
Get back in the
under
box.
our control.
Exactly. Because I just imagine a world where the SEC did not exist, but you still had to transact, right? You would have to hold your own value. We've done it before as a society. And I don't think that it is something that we cannot do again. It just seems that we went through this block of time where everything was inside a box and everyone was educated to be inside a box.
Notice you use the triangle. It's a pyramid, man, to the side.
Yes, you know, I mean, that
Yeah.
centralized power, you know,
You know,
top-down activity.
you know what it takes to become a certified, legitimate investor advisor?
What is that?
A bunch of classes, right? Remember we were trying to get that about 2 years ago, get the license,
Yeah,
but we're
yeah,
trying to build
yeah,
our app.
yeah.
Basically, it's a system that teaches you how to operate within the box that they have created.
Yeah.
And to put people's funds at the risk that they supposedly say is protected by the federal government, protected by weapons, really.
Yeah.
By the US dollar, which is literally weapons, not really. I mean, we all know.
It's firepower.
Yeah, it's firepower. I mean, anyway, I just thought I'd pause there and talk about that.
Definitely. Let's keep on pushing with this video here. Class is back. What was the name of it again? Something with Kingsley?
Office hours.
Office hours.
with
Let's go back
Gigi.
to office hours, people.
Or apps that you might use. Thus, it's pretty important that when you entrust your assets to an advisor, they don't inappropriately use, lose, or abuse your assets. That's why we at the SEC have a custody rule.
You know, this is so nicely timed because the moment, I could almost guarantee you right now, the moment we got to that use, lose, and abuse thing, everyone was thinking of FTX.
FTX, and what was his name before FTX?
Do Kwon.
Not even Do Kwon, not even in the crypto markets. One of the biggest scandal that was approved by the SEC. I forgot his name. He killed himself in jail. They said he killed himself. They probably killed him. I can't remember his name. It's this old white guy.
Dang, can't remember.
Yeah, but everybody knows.
Joe Austin?
Not Joe.
Jeez. Damn.
I'm running the block. Folks out there, though.
Dude, Joe Austin is actually a pastor.
I know, but
What
it
is that?
was.
What is that other guy? The one with the island.
Yeah.
The one from the island.
Oh no, not. Its name also starts with a G too.
Oh, damn.
Anyway, long story short, guys.
We're running a massive blank.
We're running a massive blank right now, but you guys know what we're talking about. But the reality is this:
Oh no. Yeah.
your investment advisor does not get punished if he loses your money.
Yeah.
Even in the stock market right now, if you go and give your money to a fund, and the fund misplaces your money,
Yeah.
it's simply sorry, but they still get to keep the 2% fee.
This is true. We've done some videos talking about that too, for sure. Especially like with the Bernie Madoff situation.
There you go. That's his name, Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, Bernie Madoff.
This guy was certified to the T
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was.
and
He
inspected by the SEC billions of times,
Yet.
but he's
look
still
at
on the
where
way
we
most
ended
of
up.
our money.
Exactly.
Folks, it's just a made up story, man. It's not. Come on.
Oh my god, dude.
rule. The rule requires that any advisor who can access your funds must use a qualified custodian to protect your funds. The thing is, we haven't updated our custody rule since 2009, just after the financial crisis and major frauds like what happened.
They've not updated the custodian rule, but conveniently they would like to update it now.
All of a sudden,
Listen, how much more directly can you say, yeah, so we're going to change the goalpost now because some things are coming after us? Like, I mean, can you be any more clear than that? Some things are happening. They don't like it. So we're going to update this rule, which we put in the first place, which was bullshit. But we're going to update it again so that we can take all of you crypto people, by the knees.
oh,
Cleaned out.
You are getting out of the box. Oh no,
Yeah.
let's make the box bigger. These guys are getting way too smart.
Dude, it's like they just repaint the wall of the box and you think that is a different wall. You're still in the same box. And listen, man, not everyone is gonna make it. It's fine. We just have to accept that. It's just what it is.
And people literally just go with this. They're not pushing back. Like, okay, SEC. Like, how do you get to move the goalposts?
Oh, don't worry,
But the
man.
entire time you knew this was going on, you waited for it. FTX is not new. FTX has been around for a while.
The day for pushback is coming. People cannot be complacent forever, man, because one day the heat is going to be at your door and you will have to do something about it. That day is coming. So, yeah, just we don't need to rush to it.
Happened with Bernie Madoff. The next year, though, in 2010, given these events, Congress gave the SEC greater authority and scope to expand our custody rule to better protect your assets placed with an advisor. Not just your funds or securities, but all of your assets. And using these authorities, earlier today, we put out a new proposal to do what Congress asked and to account for the lessons and new technology.
Congress asked for the SEC to make sure that to protect your assets by all means.
But so this is one thing I always try to remind people. Before the Bernie Madoff situation happened,
Yeah.
the SEC was in charge of ensuring that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just guys, just think about it. Is the SEC really doing their job protecting the consumer or protecting the retail investor? At the end of the day, it's the retail investors' money that they're using for all this Ponzi madness, right? They didn't do that. So Bernie Madoff happened,
Yeah.
right? So now, because of that reactionary situation, of course, they got to go talk to their bodies in Congress that have also been brought out by the banks.
Right.
So they come up with this big draconian law. We've been telling you guys these laws are coming, and they implemented that. So they need to know what the funds are used for, and et cetera, right? So now it's saying in the last 13 years. Notice it said 13 years.
Yeah.
Since Bitcoin. Bitcoin was 13 years. So they're literally coming for Bitcoin and, of course, all the other altcoins out there trying to beat Bitcoin. So now they're upgrading, moving the goalposts, expanding the box to say, oh, we didn't see this coming. 13 years, though? You had 13 years to make a reactionary response to it, but you didn't take any action. So now all of a sudden you have to take action.
13 years with the smartest group of people in the room.
SEC never does their job. They're just
Yeah.
basically reactionary.
13 years. Smartest group of people in the room. 13 years. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Let's keep pushing because I forgot what I was also gonna say here.
Sorry about that.
But no, you get it. I think that is definitely a long time. But I actually remember what I was gonna say. I just want to point out that note that despite everything that is going on here, Bitcoin is still treading a path forward, undisturbed by these things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something to be noticing at this time. So let's carry on here.
From the last 13 years. Under the proposal, a qualified custodian would be subject to independent audits, certain documentation requirements, and yes, to segregate your assets into an account with your name on it. These updated rules would better.
Yes. Okay, segregated account with your names on it. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, that's stemming from KYC.
Everything is said there. It's already done by the blockchain, right? for it. It said mentioned that audit, freaking blockchain is audited by the second. Right there, you know what's going on.
Right, right.
Not what FTX was doing. FTX was not a freaking blockchain. FTX was a freaking bank
Yeah, it was not a blockchain.
trying to act like a blockchain.
Was it a bank though? It was a scam. That's what
Well, I mean-
it was money laundering.
Through,
Maybe these people have been talking about all this money laundering that is happening in crypto is because FTX was doing it on such a massive scale.
under their roof.
FTX accounted for 90% of the money laundering in crypto.
GG was his mentor, though.
Yeah.
How did you think he got those skills?
Yes. These are things to, things
Just
to
connect the
look
dots, folks. So they're telling you all of that, but they said, with your name on it.
at. Yeah.
What the technology brings, along with the technology, is that all you need is a key. At some point, I don't need your business or your nose sniffing what I'm doing with my money. And that's what blockchains are like. I don't need you to know that my name is on it. As long as I have a key, a private key,
Hey,
or a public
that's
key,
what it's going to
I know it's mine.
auditing, trustless auditing and verification.
With your name on it so that they can tax you to hell. I'm just complaining right now about the $600 hike in my mortgage.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
you're not gonna get a break.
It's atrocious. You will not. And listen, when you lose the right, you don't get it back. These people are relentless, man, and they keep pushing and pushing and pushing because at the same time, it's not like they can relent. It's not like they can just fall back because then it's like, yes, society will keep running them over, as you can clearly see it's happening. Everything they're doing right now is reactionary. 100% reactionary. It's reactionary to Bitcoin. It's reactionary to the crypto space. This is something that they could have had a better handle on it from the very get-go. If they were being honest, functioning as a servant to the people, right? But
Servants to the banks. That's what they are.
right, but I think the arrogance, the corruption, simply put, right, has now put all of these entities in a place where they're just reacting clearly to everything that is happening. Because in the age of technology, I don't think that governments really need to be behind on everything
But they're always
as they
behind.
are. They're behind because they're sticking or they're clinging onto these legacy systems, which are clearly getting crushed by technology. Okay, if you look at the educational system right now, this is something that I don't know. Society has been bitching about it forever, right? Improving the educational system, and it still does not change. Interestingly, you were telling me earlier today, because of these changes in the blockchain technology, it's interesting how the curriculum could switch on a dime for blockchain in the direction that they want it to be, could switch on a dime when it comes to things like not saying you're standing for the flag, Pledge of Allegiance, or all those things that
Knowledge
instill
about the history
right?
of America.
Yeah, so they can quickly change some of these things, but when it comes to other things that are where there is public outcry, it's not changing that fast. It's all a sham. Let's carry on. Yeah, it's
Action.
yeah. Let's play on.
Help protect your and groundskeeper Willie's assets with advisors. The rules apply to crypto assets with advisors as well. Thus, that advisor would be required to keep your crypto with a qualified custodian, not on any crypto trading platform based on how they currently operate, but with a qualified custodian. Crypto companies may claim they can take proper custody of your assets.
Based on what he said there, I have a question for everyone in the comments and to you. Is Coinbase a qualified custodian?
They're working on it.
Okay. How long have they been working on it now? Listen, Coinbase can easily get wrecked here.
I was just looking at my phone because I have so many wallets. That explains what's going on at Blue Wallets.
What?
Blue Wallet is saying that if you don't have, by the way, if you're out there and you have your coins on Blue Wallet, and it's non-custodial, they're recommending that you get your money out before, I think, next week, because they did not meet the SEC's requirements for them to be a custodian of your crypto.
Yeah, but that is something. It's interesting because I've always I guess, I was the way I envisioned the way Blue Wallet stores your Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I envisioned it as, well, it's just running through someone's node. But however, if it's a service that is obviously hosting a lot of wallets and stuff like that, I see where that might be crossing over. Actually, I do not see where that might be crossing over. In fact, the SEC, I believe, is reaching in this situation because it will be no different
Mm-hmm.
from you. Because if you have your Blue Wallet still and you have a Bitcoin node, you can connect your Blue Wallet to your Bitcoin node,
That is fine.
and it will still function just fine.
That is fine. They're
It
not touching
seems
that.
to me then that the only difference is that because you still have the keys, even if you're connected to like someone else's nodes and things like that, and SEC wants to consider them a custodian,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you still have the keys to your Bitcoin even when it's in Blue Wallet, not connected to your own node,
Yep.
which is the main thing. Versus somewhere like on Coinbase, where it's like you do not have the keys to to your coins. If it's sitting on Coinbase, if it's sitting on Crypto.com, and others, other exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So it is difficult to see how one would call Blue Wallet an exchange because it's not really an exchange; it's a wallet,
A
right?
custodian. That's what they're trying to go for.
Right.
now,
So yeah. So it's difficult. So they want to call them a custodian, but at the same time, it is no different from because they, first of all, they don't charge you for the services.
Mhm.
It is there, and you can choose to participate or not.
Mhm.
If it was something where they were taking your information and so on and so forth, and then claiming to be the custodians, when you're out in the blockchain space, especially in the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network, that's the whole point of it, right? You take responsibility
Of your
for
keys.
your
Private keys.
your value, your private keys, right? You take responsibility for your own things, which is what we're trying to get back. The right for us to choose what we do with our own money. So obviously the SEC is overreaching in that sense because you're trying to now jump into this space that is okay. Let's say you say okay, Blue Wallet is a custodian in the U.S. Well, it also works around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
where
are you
is
going
it?
to now touch
Exactly, you cannot.
overreach across the world?
But at the same time, if I'm still in the US, I can take this same Blue Wallet and connect it to my own node, and it's not a custodian. So you see, there is holes in this thing, and it's one of those things where they'll need to step back. I know that they want to go headlong into crushing everyone, but I think this is one of those points where it's good to remind people like the SEC that Bitcoin can also be very much a Trojan horse, right? Because you run into it and then you cannot back out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see a full plan behind that approach.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
like you mentioned, they are overreaching because your keys is your value. That is
Yeah.
where you're storing and protecting it from. You're not just giving your value to the bank, and the banks are doing all this double printing and loaning it out and destroying your value. Uh, as
Yeah.
they go by. But I also want to add this thing though. This is another proof for those folks out there that are saying the entire Bitcoin or blockchain space. I don't want to call it crypto because some of these guys, that's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
It's showing that this is actually factual, that this is here to stay. If the SEC is responding and doing educational video on office hours with the chairman of the SEC, to say, okay, now you have to be a verified
Yeah.
custodian.
Yeah.
Folks, do not sleep on this. This is not going anywhere. The federal government is investing time to educate you to be in their box.
Yeah.
They're not trying to literally, they understand the value of this technology. They just need to get better people in leadership to fully utilize the value. In the meantime, they have bankers, ex-bankers that has been bought up by the banks trying to design the box for them instead of them designing it to add value for the entire nation and give us a competitive advantage. But again, reminder, they are not killing the system, they're just designing the system or the technology to work just for them.
Yeah. And we're just trying to let you know that you need to run a Bitcoin node.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is just some of the things that I believe that is required for this new ecosystem to really start to blossom, which it already is. But running your own Bitcoin node makes you your own bank,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives you that level of sovereignty when it comes to managing your own wealth. And I think as a community, there's a lot of resources to help people with whatever. It's going to be difficult for sure. There's going to be need for simplification, but the reality is these people are just chasing or coming after a system that has already won. Everything from now to when they come to the full realization that Bitcoin has won is just a massive inconvenience.
You know, I just literally came to a full realization right now.
What's that?
You know how once upon a time there used to be typewriters and typewriting was a thing?
Yeah.
I think it's a tough time to be a banker right now because you have the federal or the central banks saying they want to create the CBDCs, which in a way kind of eliminates the banks.
Yeah.
And then you have us, the retail investors, saying we want to hold our own value. You know,
Yeah.
have our
which,
own
which
node,
takes out the
which also takes out the banks.
the government side and the banks.
So it's
Yeah.
it's an indirect war
It's definitely a war. It's definitely a war.
without weapons.
And that's what it is, right? Bitcoin is a peaceful revolution. I know a lot of people always look for bloodshed for change, but I think this is one of those things where there cannot be bloodshed for the Bitcoin change, because all the bloodshed for change that has been done in the name of banks and the fiat system. So this is a different sort of machine, and these guys are losing. That's for sure. I already know that, because you cannot stop what is coming at this point.
But
Cat is out of
when
bag.
these companies fail, something that we've seen time and again, investors' assets often have disappeared or become the property of the failed company. And you as an investor end up stuck in line at the bankruptcy court. So beware, even if a crypto company claims that they custody your assets, it's not the same as qualified custody. Through our proposed rule, investors would get the time-tested protections and, yes, qualified custodians they deserve. So please weigh in on our proposal.
Well, we are weighing in. That's why we're doing this video, people.
Yes. Well, we have a lot to weigh in. Okay.
You know what is funny? It said something. It said that when the custodians fail, right, your property becomes the property of the failed custodian.
Yeah.
Do you know that if the bank fails, your property becomes your value, your assets that it's in the bank becomes the property of the banks, but not owned by FINRA. But because the Federal Reserve, the banks, can print money out of tin here, that is what makes your money sort of come back. You see the difference?
So in other words, you're living in a scam.
The banks fail, even though they're a certified custodian.
Yeah.
Your value, because like there have been situations where people could not touch their money for a few months or a few weeks until the government is able to print a new version of your money back to you. That's the only difference. Yeah. Literally, the only difference.
Yeah, that is
Banks, crypto, they're all the same.
That is a scam, because that's no different from. I mean, like, it's interesting because a situation like that can happen. But then if you said, "Oh wait, I lost $100 yesterday. Oh well, let me just go onto Google and get a picture of $100 and print $100 back real quick." When you put it that way, it sounds freaking ridiculous, eh? But there is someone who is telling you, listen, we're gonna charge you these maintenance fees. We're gonna charge you monthly fees to store your money and so on and so forth, just so that when something happens to your money, which is highly unlikely, because I get it, there's identity theft and all of that stuff, but fine, let's say something happens to your money, then they're like, oh, okay, they just type in some zeros and your money is back. That is insane.
No, banks still fail.
Do they though?
Lehman Brothers.
Do they really fail?
Oh, because it
Do they really fail, bro? Because it came from nothing, and they just keep building it back out of nothing.
It's true that.
It's yes, mathematically the numbers went awry. Fine, print it and just keep going. That's clearly what they do. There is no, I get it. Like people, you have all these analysts who go in there and do like all the freaking calculations and analytics of everything else. But does it really matter when at the end of the day, these guys can just make decisions to just drive the market in any direction they want? It's insane. But listen, speaking of self custody, okay, there is a green wallet from Blockstream. You can connect that to your node. There is a Moon wallet. You can connect that to your node. I've not been able to successfully really connect it directly to our node yet, but I think it's just something I'm messing up with. There is Blue Wallet itself, actually. If you have a node, right, you can connect that to your own Bitcoin node and keep using it.
Yep.
At that point, your Bitcoin node is your bank, essentially. It's running your wallets, right? There is Fully Noded, also connected to the node. That works, you know what I mean? You can, I don't know about Zeus Allen, but that's also
Wallet of
self-custody.
Satoshi too, right?
Huh?
Wallet of Satoshi or something like that.
Wallet of Satoshi is also a good one for sure. Phoenix Wallet, you can get that and connect that to your node as well. So there's options out there, and that's not even going to some of the desktop wallets that you would find available to you within your own Bitcoin node, where you could also set up Lightning channels and make Lightning payments and also facilitate Lightning payments from your node. So it's a whole different world, and there's definitely a different abilities capable, which again I don't think the SECs I don't think they have an answer for those things. But let's wrap this one up. It's been a long video. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're in the process of getting this drink out there. It's an all natural drink. It's euphoric, exotic.
Euphoric elixir. Yes.
Sorry, we're still in the branding phase.
Yes.
Keep
an eye out for our
Keep an eye on that. And we're going to be getting paid in Bitcoin through our own notes so that we won't have to pay the banking fees.
Yes.
We're trying to get this thing in the stores right now. And the stores are like, oh, we got to charge an extra 40% because we got to pay the transaction fees and all this stuff.
I think those people are there's a greedy aspect going on there, bro. That's not what sort of negotiation do you start with at like freaking 40%, man? Come on. If someone has to pay 40% to do business with you, man, you need to go and realign your structure. Okay, so that you cannot be competitive.
No, you can't.
Because listen, someone is going to allow us to get into business at less than 40%, and now this other person has lost. Now, it's numbers. But speaking of numbers, okay, the numbers are coming soon. Okay, just give us a moment. Yes, we'll be in there. Healthy juice.
Staying healthy.
Hey,
Bitcoin making do stuff like this.
Can only be paid for in Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Well, man, this was a cool one, man. Nice hangout. Do you have any final thoughts before we close this one out? Double up.
GG office hours. I kind of like it.
Hey, man, office hours are now over. Follow us on, but I definitely like, I definitely like this. So funny. Follow us on YouTube, of course. STAKK. Follow us on Twitter. STAKKFin. We're up there. Hanging out with the old people on Facebook. STAKKFin is what we'll call there. Banned from Instagram. STAKKFin. At some point, we'll try to make a new page. TikTok has also been testing our soul, man.
Yeah, we got our first warning for speaking the truth.
Listen, man, TikTok, man. I need to actually, you know what? Since we cannot, I'm not actually going to be using words anymore like idiot, stupid, and so on and so forth. I'm going to find the most eloquent way to express my thoughts such that you're not quickly offended unless your level of vocabulary reaches the... Okay.
The skies.
All right. Until next time, brazen out.
Double O.
Hey.